Hello, sixth graders. This is an exciting week. We are nearing the end of our grammar chapters. And if you look ahead, you'll see that as even though we had to leave school, um, we're moving out of grammar and into more writing. Obviously, we aren't going to have time to do the class research project and some of the things that are ahead in the English book. But let's just finish up our grammar part of Shirley English for the year. At the end of this week, you'll be taking your chapter checkup, which, as you know, you'll have to send to me. So what I want you to do today is turn to chapter 16, lesson 4. This is on page 650. All right, now I'm going to let you do some reading on your own here. On page 650, you need to take a look at all 5 of the patterns because as you finish up, and hopefully if we do come back, there is a post-test at the end where you may have to label one sentence of each pattern. So I want you to take a look. I'm on page 650. Pattern 1, of course, we know the core parts are subject, noun, and verb. Pattern 2, subject, noun, verb transitive, direct object. Pattern 3, subject, noun, verb transitive, indirect object, direct object. And here are our 2 new ones. Pattern 4, subject, noun, linking verb, predicate noun. And then pattern 5, of course, subject, noun, linking verb, predicate adjective. So sometimes pattern 4 and pattern 5 get a little confusing. So do your best to classify some sentences. Keep working on your practice pages. But right now, I want you to turn to page 654, and that's the page that I've got here on my screen. We need to just review some indefinite pronouns. Okay, so let's go to the top of that page where it says skill time. Point number 1, an indefinite pronoun does not refer to a definite or specific person, place, or thing. That's why it's called indefinite. The second arrow tells us that indefinite pronouns are used in noun positions as subjects, objects, or predicate nouns. The third arrow tells us that singular indefinite pronouns use singular verbs for subject-verb agreement. So again, just like with any pronoun, we have to make sure we have subject and verb agreement. The next arrow tells us that plural indefinite pronouns use plural verbs for subject-verb agreement. And then going on, when singular indefinite pronouns are antecedents, use singular personal pronouns for agreement. And then our last point, when plural indefinite pronouns are antecedents, use plural personal pronouns. And this is review. We've actually talked about this even on other videos. But let's take a look at reference 187. What are some indefinite pronouns that can be singular or plural? Well, in our last lesson, we learned that some indefinite pronouns are always singular and some are always plural, which is true of a lot of pronouns, whether they're indefinite or not. But in this lesson, you will learn about the either group of indefinite pronouns. Now, what do they mean by that? Well, it means that they could be either singular or plural. All right, so they've given us some colorful indefinite pronouns there. We can look at those and read them together. All, most, some, any, half. Now, they're called indefinite because they don't give us a specific number. The closest thing we have is half, which tells us that obviously there are 2 parts, but that's still considered an indefinite pronoun. Now, when the either pronouns are followed by prepositional phrases, number 1, only the either singular or plural pronouns depend on prepositional phrases to determine whether they are singular or plural. Number 2, if a prepositional phrase follows any of the indefinite pronouns in this either group, the object of the preposition determines whether the pronoun is singular or plural. And then number 3, for subject-verb agreement, Use a singular verb if the pronoun is singular and a plural verb if the pronoun is plural. Now, I think that the examples are probably going to help us the most. So the first example they've given us here is a singular object of the preposition, and they're using the word some. Now, here's the preposition. Some of the furniture is old. We can't tell exactly how much of the furniture is old, and that's why it's indefinite. Okay? Now, here the object of the preposition is furniture, and that is singular. It's referring to a group, one group. Okay? All right, then the plural object of the preposition, obviously, trees refers to more than one tree. Some of the trees are pines. So these are pronouns that can be used either singularly or plurally. So be really careful that your linking verb matches. Okay, now it says when the either pronouns are used alone. If any of the either singular or plural pronouns are used alone, they're usually considered plural. For example, some are making potato soup. We don't know some of what, maybe it's some of the family, some of the grandkids, some of the grandparents, but we do know that that's going to be treated as if it's plural. Now that probably seems like a lot. Just remember those, especially the 5 that they've given us here: all, most, some, any, and half. They can be either singular or plural. Now, today you're going to do practice 73, so I want to just classify 2 of the sentences with you, and then I'm going to let you finish up the page on your own, and of course we'll check it later. All right, so here's sentence number 1. Derek's new speakers are very expensive and loud. I'm on classroom practice 73, sentence number 1. Derek's new speakers are very expensive and loud. What are very expensive and loud? Speakers, subject noun. What is being said about speakers? Are verb. Speakers are what? Expensive and loud. Verify the adjectives. What kind of speakers? Expensive and loud. Compound predicate adjective. Compound predicate adjective. Are linking verb. How expensive? Very adverb. And conjunction. What kind of speakers? New adjective. Whose speakers? Derek's. Possessive noun adjective. Subject noun, linking verb, predicate adjective, pattern 5. Now that predicate adjective tells us that that's going to be pattern 5. Skill check. Linking verb, check again. No prepositional phrases, period, statement, declarative sentence. Go back to the verb, divide the complete subject from the complete predicate. Is this sentence in a natural or inverted order? Natural, no change. All right, so you just had a pattern 5 sentence. Now let's try a pattern 4 sentence. This is number 2, and we know, of course, that pattern 4 means it has a predicate noun. Okay, so here's sentence number 2, classroom practice 73. Alas, my aunt is the new principal of our school. Who is the new principal of our school? Aunt, subject noun. What is being said about aunt? Aunt is verb. Aunt is what? Principal. Verify the noun. Does principal mean the same thing as aunt? Yes. Principal, predicate noun. Is linking verb. What kind of principal? New adjective. The article adjective. Of preposition. Of what? School, object of the preposition. Whose school? Our, possessive pronoun adjective. Whose aunt? My, possessive pronoun adjective. Alas, interjection. Subject noun, linking verb, predicate noun, pattern 4. Skill check. Linking verb, check again. Of our school, prepositional phrase. exclamation point, strong feeling, exclamatory sentence. Go back to the verb, divide the complete subject from the complete predicate. Is this sentence in a natural or inverted order? Natural, no change. All right, now I want you to continue on with classroom practice 73. You have 2 more sentences. Let me just give you a hint. The only pattern you're not going to find is pattern 2. So that should help you a little bit. Then for exercise 2, of course, you're naming the pattern types. If you're struggling with that, go back into your chapter because this lesson actually reviews that for you. And then you get to identify some indefinite pronouns. Now let's do that together. Number 1, someone, singular or plural? Well, the one tells us it's singular. Number 2, both. Obviously, that one is plural. Number 3, anything, singular. Thing has no S at the end, so it's one. It just is referring to one object. Everybody, again, even though it's got an every in it, it's just one referring to one of a group. So that would be singular. Another, again, referring to one, so it's singular. And few, of course, we know that means more than one. So that one is plural. All right, now you got a lot of help on this page, so I'm expecting it to be done really well. Now let me just tell you again that if you comment on the video, I will give you extra credit for English. I've been enjoying, even just send me a wave or a thumbs up or a smiley face, doesn't matter. Just give me a comment, and that will be some extra credit. Now, on Wednesday, when you watch your video, watch for the mystery question because it's another opportunity to get some extra credit for English. All right, you guys have a great few days, and I will see you in a couple days.